Hello everyone, welcome back. It looks like my camera might be actually frozen. Just give me 1 second to fix that. I apologize. 1 second. If not, we don't have to have a webcam, that's alright. Give me one more try. It doesn't want to load. Very strange. All right. What is going on? Switch it to that. The new setup doesn't want to work. Yeah, damn it. Hold on. It was working 2 minutes ago. Really? Come on. There we go. Just give me 1 second to now. Okay. Just fit it in this little box. God damn it. There we go. Cool. I apologize for that inconvenience. Anyway, I had this all set up nice too. There we go. Okay. All set up. Just a little stretch. I'll fix that later. Hello everyone. How's everyone doing? This looks like we have 3 people, so that's like more than usual when we start this. Cool. There we go. Cool. Welcome everyone. I apologize for that beginning. If you're watching it back especially. I don't know what happened, but webcam was working, and then when I first decided to stream, it started not working. So I apologize for that. But let's get back into the Bitcoin charts. We'll go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, like the usual stuff. And then after that, we will take requests. All right. So now let's look into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, what we were saying the other day was if we close above, on Friday, if we closed above this Bitstamp fib level, which I explained in previous videos, but if you want me to explain it again, I could explain it. I could take some time after my analysis, just put it in the chat if you want me to explain it. But this was the Fibonacci level that I have on another chart. I just transferred over to the Bybit chart. And if we closed above this on the line, I would buy some Bitcoin just with targets back up to like $28,000. That did not happen. We closed up below it, which signaled to me that we're not going to be able to. I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. I don't think the upside potential is there. And we just got confirmation of a retest of this as resistance yesterday. We wick above, close below. And right now we're just stuck in between this point of control of this range and this Fibonacci level. So essentially what I'm looking for is either one to break at this point. So we have about a 2%, 2% in between the point of control and the Fibonacci level. However, of course, the macro bias along or below this line will be to the downside. So I am looking for this to break down and of course retest this value area low first and foremost. So I would look for next, and then macro wise, right? Let's just go over to the Bitstamp chart. Just look. There you go. Right, so this is the chart we're looking at. We can go with weekly just to get a bit of there you go. These are the Bitstamp Fibonacci levels that I have, holding up fairly well, especially on the weekly. And right now we close below this Fibonacci level, so the next target would be 10,580. So unless we close the week back above 21,650, bias is going to be the downside for now. But let's talk about shorter term time frames, because I know that is what some people want, rather than just all macro. But I just wanted to point that out because it was a big, that is a big part of my analysis, are these fib levels. So to have us have a weekly closure, a daily closure, but also a weekly closure below or above that level is significant for me. So obviously on shorter time frames, we have a big fair value gap to the upside. This is above the Fibonacci level. So if we do close above this Fibonacci level on the 1 hour time frame, not daily, not weekly, anything like that, I am just looking for this fair value gap to be filled first and foremost before anything else continues. So if we do close above this line, so 21,650 on the hourly, then my targets will change. Then my hourly targets will be between 22,673 and 22,146. If I were to pull my Fibonacci levels just to get a bit more exact targets. All right, we have the 618 and the 705 Fibonacci retracement. We did not break market structure, I don't believe, here, so I'll look for the 618 to be the target, not the 705. The 618 would be 22,409. So I would look for, if we were to close above 21,650, I would look for continuation to 22,409. Okay. Do we have any divergences forming on the 1 hour time frame? No, we had a slight bearish divergence here, I believe. Closure basis. Not really, actually. Not actually. So we know divergence is forming, so nothing of concern just yet. If we want to play this really small range, so if we just want to look at the 15-minute time frame, or maybe the 30-minute, just to give us a bit more. Yeah. If we're going to look at this as a range, we take our volume profile and see that there is no significant, the value area itself is not significantly skewed, and the point of control is slightly skewed to the downside. So we might have some one more move to the upside before we break to the downside. However, let's just look at this in real time. So let's just take this to this. I just want to see. Okay, yeah. So the volume to the downside has come in after this swing move up. So we might have one more move to the upside. Break above this value area high, retest this range high, and then break below. So my idea, once again, just an idea, would be something like come down a little bit more, come back, and then eventually break to the downside, assuming we don't close above this level on the 1 hour time frame. Now, looking at the 1 hour time frame, just to see where we have, maybe even the 4 hour might be better in this case, just to see more downward targets before the value area low, because I know some of you trade with lots of leverage, and you might want to just take some profits before then. There's no significant levels, but we can just take there's no fair value gaps to be filled really. But we could just take a Fibonacci level. So there is a 786, and taking profit at the 786. I apologize for that. Hold on. At the 786, so 21.95 seems to be of interest. We also have a 4 hour support and resistance there. Daily levels. Is there any daily levels? We do have a daily level there as well, which was tested once before. So, oh no, sorry, that's where we stopped. We do have a slight daily level there. It was not held before, so just be wary of this level if you are short from up above or short from 21,650. That might be a good first take profit level. Okay, now that's done, we can go, and obviously the invalidation of this move down on shorter time frames would be hourly closure above 21,650. Until then, bias is to the downside. Cool. So now let's just look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and then we can get to Ethereum itself. Okay. Cool. So the main idea that I had, I believe I did this Friday, yeah, was just break down, retest this level, come back down, but we didn't get that at all. We came back, just floated around, broke down, filled this fair value gap, broke below it, and we landed on a Fibonacci level. I believe this is the 705. Big deal. No, 618 of this huge range. So let's just get rid of these protections. So this isn't looking terrible just yet. This was a small time frame, and this has been filled. Cool. So this isn't looking terrible just yet. Rejecting off the 786 usually requires a bit of a major pullback, right? Because what I was saying Friday is if we get above the 786, then their next targets will be the range highs. But we didn't get that at all. We got a wick above, close below, and blasted through this support resistance level. So the next target below, let's just look at the 4-hour time frame in case we do get continuation to the downside. Did you break? I wouldn't consider this a break of market structure until you break below 72,786. Until you do that, you do have a reason to still be bullish on the 4-hour time frame on this evaluation. If you do close below this, then then the next obvious target is going to be filling this candle right here, down below, which is also right near this point of control of the 2020-2022 macro range. So there's not much to explicitly say about the Ethereum Bitcoin. It doesn't give me too much of a bias unless we have divergences forming. And it looks like we actually do have a bullish divergence closure basis forming. So let's just take a look at Ethereum itself and see if that could help us in any way. Okay. Let's take a look at the daily chart. I have lots of lines. This fair value gap here, this fair value gap here. So it doesn't look like I actually made any projections on Ethereum itself. That was a low volume node. So coming down to the 1-hour time frame, have any divergences forming? We did have divergences forming 4 hours as well, I would assume. Yep, so we did have some bullish divergence forming right here. We have one drive, two drives, closure basis. So this actually looks fairly good. Just be wary. We did stop at this fair value gap right here, right? Just be wary that we might build another drive of bullish divergence right here by filling this fair value gap, which would be 1496. So coming down to 1496, building another drive of bullish divergence would be great confirmation that we're going to continue the upside. Where are we going to go to the upside? I'm still waiting for this fair value gap up here at 1785, which is also this previous high right here, to be filled. So my projection would be something along these lines, and my invalidation point for this setup would be a 4-hour closure below 1496. If we do close below 1496, especially with no drives of bullish divergence on our side, then we're most likely going to continue the downside. I did get a new layout for the stream. Yes, I did. I thought it would be. I think it looks a bit better. So thanks for noticing. Targets to the downside would actually be quite drastic if we were going to break down. First target is going to be this fair value gap. I have it labeled as a balance before we get into fair value gaps. There you Also, this low volume node right here, which is actually 1302 between and 1380. So if we close below this on the 4-hour time frame especially with no drives of bullish divergence, not another drive bullish divergence downward, I think we're just going to be heading down fairly quickly to this range right here, this little fair value gap right here. All right. So that is Bitcoin, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and Ethereum itself. Does anybody have any coins you want me to look at? If you do, just throw them in the chat. And while I wait, we'll just take a little look at SPX. Just a little look. I have not looked at SPX yet today. And okay. Yeah. So we are filling this gap right here. And I believe on shorter term time frames, this was a pretty... Yeah, this is a pretty nasty move down. You are breaking bullish market structure on the 1 hour time. All right, this is your market structure break. This is your low that let you set your new high. So this is looking fairly not quite good on short-term time frame. So that might be in confluence with Bitcoin breaking down. Just be wary of that. AVE, sure. So yeah, SPX not looking too good. But let's get back to the requests. Let's not waste too much time. AVE. I think I did my analysis on Bybit chart. Bybit charts were acting really weird this morning. Don't know if you noticed that. 4 hour time frame. Let's see. Did I do my analysis on the Binance chart? No, I did not. Okay, yeah, I didn't. Right, so what do we notice? Notice immediately is that our volume profile as well as the point control. Point control is slightly skewed to the value or high, but the volume profile itself is greatly skewed to the upside. So we're probably gonna more likely break down, especially both. So what I look for is us to break down below the value or low before any continuation to the upside, even if we are getting continuation to the upside. However, for our time frame, don't know the last time I did analysis on this one, but broke market structure right here. Right, barely got a retrace. Didn't get a retrace at all. Bang. Oh, right there. Sorry. Have not got a retrace. We would expect a retrace at some point, but the way Bitcoin's looking, it might not. This is what I would consider to be your market. Oh God. Ooh. This is what I would consider to be your bearish order block up here. Let me just your fair value gap right here that we have filled, have not respected it completely. We broke down below it. And we're basically just going to be looking for this to hold the support right here. Unless we have drives of anything significant. I do have some bullish divergence here. Let's just look at short-term time frames. This is actually looking fairly good on the 1 hour time frame. So how would I analyze this in the 1 hour time frame? Here is your lower high, which will let you set this new lower low. So this would be your market structure, and you broke it. So MSB line right here, broke above this right here, close above it, where we pull back into the previous, the last significant move down before we broke market structure. So I consider this to be your last significant move down. It's easier on short time frames. On higher times like the 4 hours, takes a little bit of practice to figure out which is like your last significant move up, stuff like that. Because sometimes candles are just look small compared to others, you know. But this is your last significant move down. Then you set this new high. Pulled back right into that. Actually, labeled that wrong. Sorry. This is your bullish order block. I pulled back right into that. Came up. Now we rejected off of this top of this fair value gap. I would expect it to come down and fill this little gap right around here. 84.55, and then unless we break below this, then I would look for continuation upside to about 95.25. I apologize for the dog in the background. And come back, fill all these gaps up here, and I would even look for this to be a target at 97.15. So retesting this previous resistance, close above this resistance, then your next target will be 97.15. Obviously, what invalidates this idea, firstly, if you want to be a bit more aggressive, would be closing below on the 1 hour time frame, 84.55. But then more conservatively would be closing below 81.75 on the 1 hour time frame. So that would invalidate that idea of the move up. So hopefully that's of help. Do we have a bit of a range? We don't have a very clear set range. We can kind of take this mini range to see where the developing stuff is. Yeah, the value area is fairly evenly distributed for such a new range. Point control is not a major concern. Like the skew of it, you are slightly skewed to the upside, so just be wary. But yeah, not looking too bad on the 1 hour time frame. On higher time frames, not looking too good. How many hourly candles would you look at before opening along at 84.55? How many hourly? One, essentially. If we wick below, close above, then I would open along and set your stop below that wick and stuff. If that's what you're asking, I think. If he goes below it, then that invalidates that idea. Hopefully that is what you're asking. Can you look at EOS? Yes, I can look at EOS, no problem. I think people were talking about this in the Discord server. I saw a little bit. Okay, yeah, just okay, move up. Daily term time frame. Okay. We were treating this as our little range, and we broke above this value area high, came back, retested the point control, broke above this value area high. So whenever you break out of a range, right, you expect to pull back to it. And where do you expect to pull back? Usually, generally, you get the retest of just its range highs. However, we did pull back into the previous range, tested the point control. It is a significantly close point control, so it's not like it's not too significant of a pullback. You also didn't break market structure or anything like that, so nothing too unexpected. And then continue trend. Perfectly fine. If we're gonna take our Fibonacci levels, I would consider this to be our swing high, this to be our swing low. Right, where we also have a pretty significant area of interest would be this fair value gap, daily fair value gap, right along with the 0.5 Fibonacci level of this little move. I shouldn't say a little move, of this move. So $1.85.8. So basically this little fair value gap with this Fibonacci level, daily closure basis of this Fibonacci level, 188.9 and 1815 are our current daily targets, unless we're building drives or anything, which we aren't really. Small to time frames, are we? You are building. Yeah, you are building bearish divergence right here. And what we confirm that bearish divergence is essentially just the RSI coming back below this moving average. I'm using the TDI, so that would confirm this bearish divergence. And I would expect a pullback to at least 147. All right, just retest this previous low. and nothing too concerning just there. We do have a lot of fair value gaps, so I come back right here, retest this previous high in small time frames. Without building bearish divergence is just completely normal at 151,588. Closing below that on shorter time frames, so let's just say 1 hour. How does a 1 hour look? I'll say 30 minutes. Closing below $1.58.8. You can take that as a market structure break if you want to be more aggressive. If you want to be more conservative, then you would wait for a closure below $1.99.49. Oh, Jesus Christ. $1.49.6. Closing below that on the half-hour time frame would then give you confirmation that we're going to continue to the downside with targets of this fair value gap down here, and also most likely if eyeballs are trained, it should be 786. Yeah, not quite, just a 786. So 786 Fibonacci level, but we're really just filling this fair value gap would be of interest. But higher turn time frames, not looking terrible unless you build that bearish divergence. But daily's looking pretty good, and this is my upwards target of this. You look at Atom. What do you think $11 short is good? Let's take a look at Atom. Okay, so this is what I would consider to be your daily, like, low. That let you set this to high. So nothing's of concern just yet on the daily term time frame. 1 hour. This would be your market structure high. $11 short. That could be a good. Let's just see how the volume profile skewed. Volume profile skewed to upside. That would be, so if you wick above, close below, or anything like that of this previous high, $11 short would look decent. Just be wary that we do have all this low volume liquidity to the upside. I mean, you can even just draw it down to essentially here. Like, yeah, okay, you have this little wick, but, like this huge fair value gap to the upside. So just be wary that there's potential that if you close above on the hour time frame $11 this previous high, $11.05, then you're most likely going to continue to the upside. Probably fill this gap completely at 11.56. If you have any, no, you don't have any drives or anything. So that is what I would look for, and just be wary of. And you also have some Fibonacci levels in this. You have the 786 and the 705 right at the top of it, so coming back to 1159 would be of interest, assuming we close below it, above it. If you close below, yeah, I just don't see a perfect setup. I mean, this to me would be a better setup, like a short off. Oh, I guess maybe that's actually what you're talking about. So close to $11, but just a short off this value area high is what I would look for. All right, guys. Just a reminder: put more coins in the chat. That'd be great. But just a reminder: like, come join Discord. There's a bunch of great traders in there and stuff. Very active. Getting to be more active, which is great. So yeah, short off of this value area high, assuming wick above, close below, would be probably to me a better setup than than if we were to get to a, if we were to retest this range high. If that makes sense. All right. We can look at the top movers of the day. Dusk dumped 8%. It's actually down terrible percentages. I was expecting a bit worse. Dusk. Okay. Bang. Okay. So we injected off this point of control here with a huge scam wick. So most likely continue downside. Obviously, first target will be this daily support resistance level, which we already tested. So let me just actually scrap that. Next, if we break below this little low, we said 11.92, then we're obviously going to come back and retest this point of control right, this valley area low right here. The valley area itself is skewed to the downside. However, this point of control is so heavily skewed to the upside that would essentially give me a bias of breaking below this valley area low and this current range low. That's what I would be looking for. Oh, sorry, not this low at 0.989. And then we can look for targets on another chart that has more history. And you would want to see this, which I would take this to be its whole current range. Let's take our volume profile. And then I will look at Litecoin for you. Just taking this. Oh my god. That worked. So we actually were at this whole range from June 24th of 2021 until now. So almost over a year. That's actually was our point of control. Projected off of it as of today. So we're most likely to continue downside. And this value area low is actually this current little range low, which is interesting. So you're probably just going to retest this, and then your next target would be this whole range is low, which is 0.833. Macro wise, you just don't have a lot of interest up in here, but once we do get, so that's like pretty interesting, because like I would consider this to be like a whole low volume node area essentially, and you just, you know, you can see how quickly the wick can go there. So that's just my macro perspective on this. Litecoin, yeah, let's go with Litecoin. So taking our daily range, right here, you can see we very closely come back and retested this point of control right here. So this is good confidence we're going to get upside. Let me just get rid of this line. But just be wary that we did we did have a swing failure pattern on the daily term time frame. We broke below this range, so we probably broke market structure. 4 hour, we can just go to the 4 hour chart. Yep, so right here we broke past this. So where would you look? Expect this to pull back, assuming we close above this. So this is actually interesting because we're right there right now. So assuming we close above 57.38 on the 4 hour time frame, you would look for it to pull back into its bearish order block. Bearish order block. Which should be a less significant move up, which should be right here before the market structure break. So this is where I look for it to pull back into, and if we were to take our Fibonacci levels from this swing high to this swing low, we have the 705 Fibonacci level, which is what we expect for a bearish order box. The Fibonacci level to pull back to. So 6103 would be my target to the upside, then continuation to the downside. So assuming we close above, we go to here, and then we can make a lower low, which we'll get a target for later. So assuming we close above 57.38 on the 4-hour time frame, then my next target will be 61.03. If we don't close above 57.38, then I would essentially look for just continuation to the downside, just continuing the trend, which we can look for targets of on the 4-hour time frame. No significant fair value gaps just yet. Daily term time frame would be this valley area low, actually right there at 49.73. And if we take our Fibonacci levels, this big move, we also have the 618 right there at 49.99. So that would be, this is my downside target. Just whether or not we move up or whether or not we have this move up is just dependent on where you close the 4-hour on at 57.38. And we can just look if we have any drives of divergences or anything. Don't really on the daily 4-hour. You do have some drives of bullish divergence, so it wouldn't be unexpected for us to close above this. Hi all, hello Hustler. How's everything going? Got my glasses. That's no wonder I have a headache. I'm like, there you go. Oh, everything's clear. Clean them. All right, so just put the coins you want in the chat. Have any questions? Throw them in. I'm liking this Litecoin. Litecoin's nice to trade. Has these nice clean setups, unlike other coins. Yeah. Thoughts on DXY? Hello, Crypto Life. Hello. Let's look at DXY. Yeah, sure. DXY. My target for DXY was has still been $1.10. We had this fair value gap. We also have this macro. Every time it's macro 786 Fibonacci level. There, so that continues to be my longer term target. Might take a few days to get there, but at this point you're right there. Taking our Fibonacci levels, yeah, we broke past fairly much everything. We did get a little bit of a stoppage at 786. Broke through it, retested as support right here, right? Zoom in, resistance, flipped it, support, now continuing to the upside. So, presuming we break above the $1.09, you might get a slight pullback, fill this fair value gap right here. But unless you build some, you didn't even really, you have to wait for the next candle to develop to get the fair value gap. But I'm going to assume that we're going to have a fair value gap within this candle. I'm not sure just where yet, but you might get a pullback to there, which is perfectly fine. Nothing of much significance, but are you building any drives or anything? No. You can argue that you're building. No, you're actually not, because you already broke above that. Yeah, on a closure basis. So essentially, I'm just looking for a breakout and then continuation to $1. 110.2, and then we can look to see if that there. Also looked up. I have not looked up hunters. I guess I can just Google it. A person who gambles places a bet or risky investment. Okay. Or a prostitute's call. So I don't know which one you were calling us, but I don't know. Are you calling me a prostitute or are you calling me a gambler? Or a prostitute's calling. Never mind. OP. Yeah, you got it. I think we were on. Oh, were we on? Yeah, we were on the Binance chart the last few times. Has more history of it. Come back to the daily. Holding that 382 for now. Macro 382, right? You had a swing failure pattern of this previous. So I'll just get rid of all these Fibonacci levels. Of this previous high. So where do you expect to pull back into? That would be the 618 of this move, right? So that would be your first take profit level. And that's actually exactly where we bounced off of, right? So just get rid of these fib levels. We can always put those back, right? So the first take profit level of a swing value pattern will be the 618 from the swing low to the swing high. And that's exactly what we got right here. So just bouncing off that for now. If we close below this on the daily term time frame, $1.09 or $1.10 basically, this fair value gap right here is what I would look to fill first, between $1.28 and 97 cents. That would be next take profit level, but yeah, nothing. Yeah, this is cool. It played out. As a swing failure pattern. 4-hour time frame, you did break market structure right here, right? Bang, broke it. Never closed back above it. So if we do close, do we have any divergences forming? We do have bullish divergence forming. It seems like that's forming on pretty much everything we're looking at on these time frames. So let me just get rid of these lines. So if we can close above $1.36, then I would look for a pullback into the last significant move up, which is obviously right here. Maybe not obviously, but I shouldn't say that. But you know, last significant move up, which is right here for the market structure break, which is in line with this Fibonacci level, which is $1.54. So that's what I would look for a pullback and then continuation to the downside, assuming we reject off of it. So confirmation of coming back up to this would be a closure above that, but we're fairly far away, and the continuation downside. What invalidates this idea would be closing below this 618 on the daily term time frame. So if you close below the 618 at $1.09, it invalidates this idea, or most likely not going to get a pullback into this region anytime soon, and you're going to fill this fair value gap first. Small term time frames. Just holding this really tight range. Apologize for my dog in the background. And you have a lot of volume to the downside, right? This volume profile is skewed. However, it's still new, so just be aware of that, especially if you continue to pull the volume profile and see how it changes over time. But for right now, we have a lot of volume to the downside, a lot of trap shorts, even though we have spent some time to the upside. So that is a good confluence, so we might bounce off the 618 and go back and fill that bearish order block and test that. I think that was like the 382. Yeah, 382 Fibonacci level. When Grogu OnlyFans. Soon. Cool. Any other coins? Just throw them in the chat. All right. Well, if there are no more coins you guys want me to look at, or no more things you want to talk about, I'll bid you all farewell. I will be starting, because someone suggested that I do live trading. We refer to punters as more customers in UK. Weird, I know. Old English word. Oh, okay. Understand. I hate the fact that I guess I have to, I don't know how to like decrease the chat to me stream, because I always like have to stop myself from saying, yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. I don't know the last time we talked about this. But we have this volume profile, which is heavily skewed to the downside. So continuation to upside is nothing unlikely. This is exactly essentially what you want to see when you break out of range. You want to see it break out of the volume, not out of range, but out of a volume area. You broke out of the volume area, retested this value area high, and then continued to the upside, right? When we look at EOS earlier, it like did something a little strange, like not completely strange, but a little abnormal, where it broke out of this value area, but then didn't just retest this value area, came back into the range, and then continued upside. Didn't break market structure though, so it didn't really invalidate the move or anything like that. But this is like what you typically want to see. So we jacked it off. We barely came up to the 786, which is perfectly fine. Want to see if there's anything. Maybe on Binance, which you see more history. No, yeah. You were in an uptrend, so let's just see if we are pulling back into anything. So you were in an uptrend. No, I wouldn't even consider that. Holy smokes. Yeah, okay. Let's just go back to the Bybit chart. There's nothing really to say there. Yeah, so I would essentially look for us to pull back into this high volume node right here, which we barely just did, but I want to see us pull back into this just a bit more, retest the 618 fully, and then we can look for a rejection and then a good nice short. But this is actually looking fairly healthy for a continuation of an uptrend. We can look at short-term time frames in just a minute. The daily time frame is looking pretty good. You have this fair value gap here, down here, just to be wary of. Where's starting to go? Yeah, it was good to take profit with 382. Yeah, you didn't get any significant drives or anything. It's looking pretty good. 1 hour time frame. He did break market structure, so be wary of that. You might get a slight pullback, or might even just completely invalidate this move. So we're actually retesting that, and then your last significant move up would be this. We could go to short-term time frames just to have more of an exact order block, because that's what we're testing right now. So this would be a market structure break. And then coming back to, like, let's just say the 15 minutes, just to get a bit of a more accurate order block. It's just so it's not such a large range, would be right there. Coming back, good. And then take your favorite notch level. This actually probably isn't going to be the 705. Yeah, it's going to be the 618, which is perfectly fine. So coming back into this 2965 right here would provide good, possibly good short opportunity, assuming you wick above, close below. What invalidates that idea is closing above 21 cents roughly on the 1 hour time frame. So closing above 21 cents on the 1 hour time frame invalidates the idea, and then targets back up into that high volume node. If you do reject off of that, then I would essentially just look for a pullback to these range lows right here at 17.41. So that would be my first take profit level for that short, and then if you're going to get a closure below that, then I would look for this low volume node, and that would be my second take profit for that short. Cool. All right. Any more coins? And I will actually wait this time. I'll wait a few minutes because I know there's a bit of a delay. And while I'm waiting, there was a suggestion that I do live trading. And I will do live trading, but paper trading just to avoid like legal problems and stuff. So I will like put it in Discord like when I'm gonna stream that, but I'll do like an hour or two, and maybe like scalp with a paper account live like on stream, and hopefully that would be of interest. I know some people wanted that last week. I mean, I was just yeah. You have to do a paper account just so like people like don't take it as financial advice and stuff. SBY and NQ versus. Okay, so you want to wait. So do you want me to look at SPY and Bitcoin correlation, or do you want me to look at SPY itself? Just let me know. But correlation coefficient, Bitcoin, USD. It's fine. Now let's do Bitstamp. Yeah, just so it has more history. Cool. I'll just get rid of this TI. We're positively correlated like most times. Yeah. Weekly term time frame, positive correlation, slightly turning down, nothing too bad though. Is there like a correlation? There's no like significant correlation. Like that I've found between SPY or like any trad and Bitcoin. Like I shouldn't say anything. Like there's obviously like a very strong positive correlation over time, but I haven't found any significant reason or like indicator like when it switches to a negative correlation, if that makes sense. It's like when it switches to a negative correlation. So when the correlation between traditional markets and Bitcoin switches to a negative correlation, I haven't found anything of significance in that time frame. However, I will do NASDAQ. I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but however, I have found that there is a fairly significant change when gold and Bitcoin correlation flip. Like you have like the most risk off asset. Like it makes theoretical sense as to why. We'll take a look if I hopefully still have that chart up, but it makes sense because you have theoretically like you have the asset supposed to be most risk off, which is gold, and you have the asset which is supposed to be risk on, right? Just traditionally speaking, you have your own thoughts, but Bitcoin, right? And then when they flip correlations, like there's a significant like reason to it, and you can see like a change in market structure, which we'll take a look at. I looked at that a while ago though, so we can take a look at where it is now. NDQ, yeah, still positive. Once again, like I just don't see a reason to be concerned with this correlation coming down, if that's what you're referring to. You can see it comes down a lot when like we're sideways, right? Probably because Bitcoin's volatile and SPX and trads aren't all the time. But let's take a look at gold and that correlation. I think I was on. Okay, so just first of all, gold. We reject off this point of control, blasted this volume, low volume node. I'm sorry, value area low. So this isn't looking great. And if you close below this low, then you're going for a trip way down. Retesting this low would be your, this high would be your first target right here at 1558. But I think I was on like higher term time frames. I might just have to like look back at what I was looking at. But whenever we had a switch, there was something of significance. Yeah, I think I'll have to look back at what time frame I was looking on. And I can go over it tomorrow, but there was yeah, I'll come back to this, but trust me, there is. I don't want to just waste time on stream. I know sometimes buy leads on low time frames for scalping in and out trans trades. I think you seems to have a bit more correlation most times. Yep. Yeah. Nasdaq has more. This is like the tech sector has more tech sector, so it makes sense that Bitcoin's going to correlate to that more than other indices like SPY stuff. Paper scalp would be great. Cool. So I'll get that ready. Just make a paper account on Bybit and live stream some trades. I don't know if I really want to like do swing trades on it, because then I don't know. With that, like, yeah, I'm not like the. I don't think that would be like very entertaining. But I think scalps would show you more and be more entertaining, right? You just don't want to see me click a button and just sit here and wait. I don't think that's of interest. All right, I will bid you all farewell now. I hope you have a great rest of your day. There's a link to it, our Discord server in the description below. Free to join and everything. There's a lot of good traders in there. Come ask questions and stuff. I try to get to be in there as much as possible, and hopefully schedule will clear up now. So hopefully I can be in there more often. Also, if you're trying to buy Bit and you want 30% off all your fees and kind of like help support this channel and the Discord and everything, there is a link in the description below. Make an account with that link and you'll get 30% off all your maker and take your fees as well. So just you can save some money doing that. And that's about it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you all for joining. That was a great stream. So thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.